So there's the Ten Commandments, and there's the tabernacle and the sacrifices and the story of creation that they didn't know about, and all of this stuff that's encompassed in the first 5 books of the Bible was the revelation of God, the revelation of God, the revelation of God. That was what he wanted, and that's what he wants for you here. He wants to reveal the nature of God. Now, why is that such a problem? Why is it that something that any American Christian would embrace, why does this become toxic? I could speak to any church that's even a little bit Christian in America and say, we need to know more about God. And they'd say, yes, bring it on. And yet it is this very issue of knowing God that destroys the church today and causes us to end up in the 2% trap instead of becoming who God intended us to be. Because there is a world of difference between understanding God and discovering God. And when we understand God, we may as well order the casket because the life has gone out of the ministry. Because here's the issue. When we understand God, or understand a facet of God, when we understand how God works in a particular area, we monetize it. We make it commercial. We turn God into an ATM machine. We reduce him to an algebraic formula, and we teach people, if you come and you do A times B divided by C to the second power, you will get this result in your life in that particular niche. And it is not wrong to understand a facet of God, but as soon as we understand how God's power flows in some area, we stop there. And we camp there, and that becomes the specialty of that local congregation. And you can look across America, and we have congregation after congregation that knows an aspect of God. You go to this church, you're going to get healed. That's what they know. You go to this church, and you're going to get your marriage fixed. That's what they know. You go to this church, they've got a ministry to homosexuals. That's what they know. You go to this church, it's evangelism. That's what they know. And all of them are right, and all of them are wrong because they stopped. When they knew something, when they learned something, when they figured God out, they established an ATM machine and taught people how to come to church to get the PIN number to go with your card so you can make a withdrawal from the God machine. Genesis 1:26. God said, I'm giving man authority over the birds and the fish and the animals and the bugs. It's in the Word. And the reality is, most Americans don't walk in that kind of authority because they haven't learned about that aspect of God. Now, I have a good friend named Deborah who understood that, and she learned from God how that works. She had mice in her house. And using this wisdom, this understanding of the nature of God, she told them to leave, and they left. She had a woodpecker that was in the process of dismantling her house, and she told it that was not permissible based on the principles of God's Word, and it left. She is the envy of the neighborhood because she has control over the deer. She invites the deer into her yard and explains to them, no shrubs, no flowers, no ornamental trees, eat the grass, and they do. Not too shabby. She understands that facet of God that deals with the animal kingdom. She explained to me how it worked. I thought, let's try. Because I get up in the morning early, go into the living room, have some time with God, and about a month ago, a cricket moved in. And every morning, while I'm trying to converse with God, the cricket and the Energizer Bunny are having a hoedown. And it was just getting very, very irritating. So I said, I'm going to try this. I used the principles she taught me and explained to the cricket, this is my time, my turf, and explained why the cricket needed to go somewhere else and how, and it did. I thought, well, that was just once. It could have been luck. So I called a friend of mine who has a cricket convention in his yard. And I explained the principle to him, and he used it. And the crickets moved across the block wall fence into his neighbor's yard. He can still hear them from a distance, but they're not in his yard. Folks, this works. It is a facet of the nature of God that I don't know if any church in America knows or is teaching on a regular basis. So the American thing to do is to create a new movement. The first church of the exterminators. It has a ring to it. And every visitor that comes gets a CD, and on the CD there's instructions as to how to apply this principle to take care of ants and cockroaches in your house. And you go home and do this, you can leave a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on the countertop for a week, and all it will get is stale. There will be no ants. Now, when you join the church and become a member, you're then authorized to go to a special class, and they'll teach you how to apply the principle to get all the fleas and ticks off your dogs, guarantee your kids never get lice, and to take care of the gophers and the moles in your yard, okay? And for those that move into the platinum level of church membership, there's a special class that you can go to. And in this class, they will teach you what you need to know so you can go to New York City, attend the play on Broadway, stay in a New York City hotel, and it's absolutely guaranteed that you will never bring one nasty New York City bed bug back to the lovely state of Georgia because you understand the principle. You attend the first church of the exterminator. And it would sell, and it would grow. And there's an awful lot of people with bug problems that would come to the first church of the exterminator because we have understood something about God, and we have monetized it, and we can teach you for a fee how to access the power of God in an area of your life that you need. And this is a perversion of what God intended.